The applause was loud that night, louder than usual, but beneath it there was tension you could almost taste. The kind that doesn't come from excitement, but from something about to break. Joan Rivers walked onto the stage smiling, sharp, fearless, ready as always. This was her home. This was where she had built herself. And this was the last time she would ever sit across from Johnny Carson. For years, Joan Rivers wasn't just a guest on The Tonight Show. She was family. Johnny discovered her, championed her, brought her back again and again when no one else would. When she filled in as guest host, America fell in love with her biting wit and relentless honesty. She wasn't supposed to be a threat. She was supposed to be a success story. But behind the desk, behind the laughter, something fragile was forming. A bond built on trust, power, and unspoken expectations. Joan was hungry in a way Hollywood didn't know how to handle. She wanted more than approval. She wanted control. And that desire followed her everywhere. While audiences saw confidence, those close to her saw fear. Fear of being replaced, forgotten, erased. Late at night, after the jokes landed and the lights dimmed, Joan worried about her future. What happens when Johnny retires? What happens when the door closes? Johnny Carson was more than a host. He was a gatekeeper. His favor could make careers, and his silence could end them. Joan knew this better than anyone. She lived in the space between gratitude and resentment, loyalty and ambition. And for years, she balanced it carefully, until one decision shattered everything. When Joan Rivers accepted a deal to host her own late-night show on a rival network, she didn't tell Johnny first. To her, it was survival. To him, it was betrayal. The news hit Johnny not privately, but publicly. And in that moment, something inside him hardened. The man who once guided her career now felt blindsided, humiliated. And Johnny Carson never forgave betrayal. Joan tried to explain. She reached out. She sent messages. She waited for the phone to ring. It never did. Suddenly, she was cut off, not just from The Tonight Show, but from the man who had defined her professional life. No farewell. No confrontation. Just silence. And silence, in Hollywood, is the loudest punishment of all. As Joan's new show struggled and eventually collapsed, the weight of that decision crushed her. Critics were merciless. Networks distanced themselves. The industry whispered that she had crossed the wrong person. And through it all, Johnny said nothing. He never spoke her name again on air. He erased her. Behind the scenes, Joan's life unraveled. The laughter turned brittle. The jokes sharpened into armor. She smiled through pain no audience could see. The woman known for roasting everyone else was privately breaking apart. And then came the darkest moment of all, the sudden loss of her husband, Edgar Rosenberg, who took his own life. Joan was left devastated, alone, and still shut out. In interviews years later, her voice would crack when Johnny's name came up. She admitted she had loved him, not romantically, but as a mentor, a protector, a father figure. And she never understood why he wouldn't speak to her again. She wanted closure. She wanted forgiveness. She wanted one conversation. It never came. Johnny Carson, for his part, never publicly addressed the feud. Those close to him said he felt deeply hurt, deeply angry, and deeply justified. To him, loyalty mattered more than talent. And once broken, it was never repaired. Was it pride? Was it pain? Or was it simply the cost of holding absolute power for too long? Joan rebuilt herself slowly, painfully. She clawed her way back through stand-up stages, red carpets, and sheer force of will. She reinvented herself as a fashion critic, a reality star, a survivor. The world laughed with her again. But the wound never closed. Even at the height of her later success, there was a shadow that followed her. The show she was never allowed back on, the man who never called. When Johnny Carson passed away, Joan Rivers cried publicly. She spoke of regret, of love, of unresolved heartbreak. She admitted she would have given anything to sit across from him one last time, to laugh, to say goodbye. But some doors, once closed, never open again. This wasn't just a story about television. It was about ambition colliding with loyalty, about a woman reaching for independence in an industry that punished it, about a king of late night who could not, or would not, forgive, and about the price of choosing yourself when the cost is everything you once had. So when we watch those old clips now, the laughter feels different. The smiles carry weight. Because behind every joke was a woman trying to secure her future, and behind every silence was a man protecting his throne. And it leaves us with a haunting question. Was Joan Rivers punished for betrayal, or for daring to believe she deserved more? Because sometimes, the moment that changes your life forever isn't the one you plan. It's the one that shows you exactly how much power someone else holds over your dreams.